Hi everybody, welcome back. Happy Friday. I'm out here putting together some stuff. So I'm starting to put together the rear sulky here, just with some temporary bolts, just to get it all together and back on the tractor. To set it on its feet is the goal of the weekend. And got these all on here. Wheels obviously need to be cleaned up yet, but I just got them on the axle for now. It's actually pretty surprising how little play there is in the wheels. There's not. I got a feeling this was a pretty low hour tractor. I mean, nothing has really been really worn out. I got the steering gear put back on the differential. Need a little touch up on those bolts. Of course, they got scuffed up putting them on, but that's done. And as soon as we get a couple of temporary wheels found up here at the shop, put them on the housing and set this back down on the ground. I got it all rigged up, ready to go. I'm going to work on putting some more of the sulky together here now and see what we can figure out there. Lowrider 612, anybody? This is just too comical. Put a set of temporary wheels on here just so we can, set it down, get it off the engine stand. And this is what we came up with that we had kicking around that would work. It was a little tricky because the axle size is so big, 2.5-inch axle, so most other options we had wouldn't fit on there. The hubs weren't big enough. But these are wheels off an old combine, or threshing machine rather. It just happened to work pretty well. The hub's way too big, but it works. It's just sitting on there. So it just looks comical though, sitting so low to the ground. Maybe the camera doesn't do it justice, but it's way shorter than what it should be. I mean, I'm sitting here now. The top of the radiator, or gas tank rather, is at chest height. So the goal is to rig up and get the differential transmission assembly back in the tractor, as well as, like I said, getting the sulky at least temporarily put back on there just to get it all on 4 wheels. I'm thinking I might put the differential in first just so it's sitting here somewhat level, because once I put the sulky back on, it's going to bring this height back up to where it should be, which, so it'll be sitting way crooked then again. So if I do that first, it might make putting this in more tricky because it'd have to go in crooked. And I got to thinking here too, I might have hosed myself a little bit. I don't know how tight a tolerance is. It's stepped where this goes in to there. So I painted both surfaces, not really thinking about that. I might have to end up scraping some paint back off, depending on how tight that fit is, just to get everything back together. But that's doable if it comes to that. So yeah. What do you think, everybody? Is it starting to look like a tractor yet? Got the transmission put back into the main housing. It all went really smoothly. Used the overhead hoist and strapped it up and put it in there. Had the main pipe swung way over to the side to make enough clearance, and yeah, went together really good. All the bolts are in there, torqued down. I'm gonna have a little bit of lunch here, and then I can put the hitch underneath here again, because that can go back on now that the transmission and differential assembly is off the stand. I can take the stand apart and have a nice little cart now. I got the engine stand mount off, so that's ready for my engine now. So as soon as Norm is done with it and I go pick it up, that's what I'll be working on next. I did get the tank sealer liner, so I'll probably be working on that in the near future. First I want to get the sulky and drawbar and stuff put back on, so that's probably what I'll work on this afternoon. We'll get it on its all four wheels, and we'll probably actually reposition it in the shop here and get it over pushed out of the way a little bit. But yeah, go have a little bit of lunch and come back out and see what else we can get done. There, I'm out of green parts. Everything I got painted is back on the tractor. Drawbar is bolted on, sulky is at least temporarily on there. I got the hitch underneath the differential, at least loosely on there. I want to touch up the paint on the bottom of the transmission and differential there where it was sitting on the stand. Touch that up before I bolt all those parts on for good. But it's starting to look like something again. It's starting to look like a tractor. It still just looks comical with those little baby tires on the front. But yeah, it's coming together nice. Yeah, I'm going to need an engine pretty soon. Yeah, that's all right. We got lots of other stuff to work on. We still got clutch to figure out. We got the wheels we can do. Linkages. But we're getting down there. Running out of parts. That's a good sign. Phew. Small crisis averted. So I just got done cleaning up this shifting shaft linkage. I figured, okay, I'll put it in there. And I didn't previously have it in there when I put the differential in because I didn't think it was an issue. Because the shaft on this side, your clutch shaft, you can slip in from this side, no problem. There's plenty of length. You can put it up in there without any issue. So there again, I made some assumptions. I should never, you should know better. Don't make assumptions. But I figured I'd be able to do the same with this side. Slide it in from here. So I didn't have it previously in there or anything. Well, this shaft is longer by just enough where there really isn't enough clearance to get that linkage shaft up through there and in place. But not by much. I mean, you can get it kind of started up in the hole by, maybe about half an inch or so. It's got to be in there before it clears, where you can get it up in there. So I was like, oh no. I was thinking I was going to have to take the whole differential back off the tractor to get that linkage in there. So I took the top cover off thinking, oh, maybe I can fish it down in there and feed it back through that direction. Nope, that doesn't work. There's not enough clearance inside of that housing to go that way. It's got to come in from the front side. So I was like, oh man, I really didn't want to have to take it all back apart again. I mean, it's doable. No reason I can't, but I just got it together. I really didn't want to have to take it back apart again. So I started looking at it and studying it a little bit. And what I ended up doing is taking a file and ever so slightly chamfering the bottom side of that hole where the shaft goes through to give it a little more clearance to get started. And then taking on the other end of this shaft, beveling it just a little bit more than what the factory had it, just to give it that little bit of clearance to get up and around that corner, so to speak, to get here. And when I got really close here, I gave it a soft tap with the soft hammer just to get it up around the corner. And of course, once it's up clear, then there's plenty of clearance to get it up in place. So getting it back out of there would be tricky at this point too, because there's, like I said, I only took off just enough to make some clearance to get it in there. But crisis averted, because that little bit of extra bevel I put on there. Let's see, so this is the farthest the shaft is going to be back that way. So what I beveled is still inside the housing here, so you're never going to see it. You shouldn't let any more oil leak past that shaft of what it normally would have anyway, because there's no seal between the housing and that shaft. It's just, so it's going to leak a little bit of oil there. That's just nature of the beast. And a little bit of filing I did in the inside of this bore isn't going to hurt anything, because I didn't take off enough to even affect this side of the hole. So it's no more sloppy than what it ever really originally was. So crisis averted, but my heart sank there for a second. It's like, oh man, I'm going to have to take things back apart. So note to you guys out there that are still restoring your tractors, when you go to put things back together, put that shaft in before you put your differential back on the main casting, and make life a lot easier for you. Just a little word of the wise there. So, all right.